I would let Dakota Johnson spit in my mouth, and I'm not even into that. It's your boy Santana, a little bit fancier than usual today. Welcome to a very sexy episode. 50 Shades of Grey is well known as the cornerstone of softcore book porn and even softer core movie porn. If you think that the kinky fuckery in 50 Shades is a little too hardcore, then I'm sorry that you've never had good sex before in your life. I'm sorry. If you think the series glamorizes abusive relationships and negative connotations regarding gender politics, you are definitely not alone. But I happen to think that the 50 Shades movie is so bad, it's good. Really good. Let me explain. I'm breaking out the fucking board on this one, guys. Let's get kinky. We start off and our character is Anna, and she is a typical normal girl. A very attractive normal girl. A extremely attractive normal girl. You get a little bit of her personality right away when she kind of like bites her lip in the mirror when you get this close up of her like eyes, and she's so pretty. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do to sell this movie, right? That and the kinky fuckery. She goes to college, she has a roommate, typical setup jargon. That's right, setup. Our story starts off just moments before she meets the guy. She falls flat on her face the first time that she meets him in order for us to understand that she's clumsy. She just happens to be at like top tier attractiveness for a normal girl. I mean, you have to sell this movie one way or another. Is Dakota Johnson attractive? Yes. Very much so. Like, oh god. She is one of the finest specimens of a human being ever put to this earth. But more on that later. The body of a Greek goddess. The cute gap in her teeth. Those legs! And have you looked in her eyes? If she was any more attractive, the entire world would erupt into 100 years of endless warfare. Every man and some women conquering lands just to please her. Sailors being lost at sea trying to find giant squid and mythical creatures to present to her. Astronauts will travel to distant worlds to plant flags with her face on them. I love you, Dakota.
You are very young to have amassed such an empire. To what do you
To what do I owe my success?
Yep.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson carries this movie, and she's just perfect. Not just for this character, but for everything. So the meeting goes really well. And I'm thinking that's a motherfucking catalyst, is what I would say if I didn't know structure, and we are less than 10 minutes in. So, let's finish setting up.
Thank you. You're my hero.
See you later.
Okay. Mom, I'm at work. Can I call you back?
Anna?
Did you give me a handout back?
She has a friend who's a photographer. He's competition, of course. She works at the hardware store with one other guy. He's competition. Those are just remnants of the Twilight that stuck around. The Twilight fan fiction this is based off of, if you didn't know.
I thought it was you.
So he stalks her at work, and like, if you're into stalking, that's kind of hot. I'm gonna bring this up again later, but basically, if the writer wanted him to stalk her because it's hot, there you go. If the writer wanted him to stalk her because she didn't know how else to move the plot forward, there you go. But nevertheless, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if you show up at someone's work to try to run into them because you're interested. It's not that weird. But some of you might disagree with me, so from now on, I'm gonna raise this little red flag every time that I see a problem with someone's behavior. You're welcome.
How about we try a few with a smile?
You do realize that he hasn't stopped looking at you. He asked me to go for coffee afterwards.
And that feels like all the setup that we need. We get it. She's a normal girl, so I'm gonna put normie. That's the setup. And then they go out for coffee, where this exchange happens.
Am I romantic? Well, I study English lit, so I kind of have to be.
And then he dips, saying, "I'm not the right man for you." Was that my Batman voice? To let a good woman go is shameful, but to let Dakota Johnson go is practically an outright act of treason against the human race. You are just denying the world of the most beautiful babies that can be born into existence. She's so perfect. Anyway, she almost gets hit by a fucking bike.
What is that even?
Watch it!
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's him holding her up when he saved her from the bike. But they're stick figures, because I can't draw. Mind you, I did go to art school. My circles have improved. Now, that moment where they look into each other's eyes, right after he saves her from that murderous bicyclist, that's a motherfucking catalyst. Now, if you feel like I'm being fast and loose and unorganized with the structure of my breakdown, I'm going to guarantee you I've put more work into this than they did into the movie. And I implore you to get over yourself. Yeah, that film school degree is really paying off now, isn't it? She goes to a bar and drunk dials him, and Dakota Johnson's drunk dialing is a masterclass in acting. And this is mostly because she actually did drink in order to get through some scenes of the movies. Which is totally understandable.
You're so bossy, Anna.
Let's go for coffee. Anna, let's go for coffee. No, stay away from me, Anna. I don't want you. Get away. Come here, come here. Go away.
But, of course, he shows up at that bar to rescue her because he tracked her phone. And then her friend Jose tries to make moves on her while she's drunk and not reciprocating and not giving consent, and, which I feel like is only done to justify Christian coming in to save her.
You're spinning. I think I'm gonna faint.
What, now?
So then he kidnaps her. No, yeah, you heard that right. I'm gonna be doing this a lot. Also, I'm not mentioning his brother's relationship with her roommate because I don't care.
Oh my god. Did we didn't.
Necrophilia is not my thing.
Then you are a better person than Bella Swan, my friend. Because she fucks vampires.
If you were mine, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a week.
What?
Her reaction is everything. Do you still not believe me that this movie is so bad it's good? And then they go for a helicopter ride. Because he's a billionaire, remember? Nearly losing my shit. And that scene is kind of magical, honestly. I'm sorry. I'm into it. If it was anybody else, it'd be a regular, like, scene. But when it's Dakota Johnson, pretty fucking hot.
It's just beyond this door.
What is?
My playroom.
Like your Xbox and stuff?
That is pure gold. Could you imagine if he actually said yes? I don't make love. I fucking destroy 12-year-old kids at Call of Duty. Come get it. I want to take the time here to point out that Christian has been upfront about what he wants and doesn't want this entire time, which is a very healthy and mature sign of a person in a relationship. It's just that what he wants is to beat the shit out of you. If I was with Dakota Johnson, I wouldn't even have a safe word. I'd let her do anything to me.
I wouldn't know.
What do you mean?
Because I haven't.
But then he finds out that she's a virgin, and she sells the virgin reveal very well. So, her coronation into less sex is going to be debate. Slap that puppy on there. Normie Bike Sex, Act 1. I'm practically writing a new movie for you. I guess you could say that the helicopter ride is actually the debate, and then Break Into Two could be the sex itself, but It all just kind of blends together anyways, and I'm really proud of normie bike sex, so I'm keeping this. And for breaking it too, I'm gonna put morning, because she's like cooking breakfast and shit. Could you imagine having sex with Dakota Johnson and then her cooking you breakfast in the morning? Because I bet it'd be great. Not that I think about it all the time. And also, it's gonna lead us right into the fun and games. Admittedly, this is the easiest part of the story to nail down. Bam. It's just more sex. It's a lot more sex, and it's pretty fucking awesome. I might be biased because if it was anyone other than Dakota Johnson, then I'd think that they were just very average sex scenes, but it's Dakota Johnson. If Dakota Johnson asked me to sign a contract stating that I'm her property, I would break my wrist reaching for that pen at the speed of sound. And post-coitus is when they actually have conversations and learn things. Like about his mommy issues, which I don't really feel like I need to go into, but I'm just gonna put it on the board. Boom, mommy issues. Morning sex mommy. I'm starting to regret this. Anyways, I'm sure you've heard the argument that this movie has a very poor representation of BDSM culture, implying that we have to have some kind of fucked up traumatic thing happen in our past in order to get us into that kind of kink. Yeah, I'm aware. We'll talk about it later.
How did you start doing this?
One of my mother's friends. I was 15.
A reoccurring idea expressed in the movie is the notion that Christian is into the BDSM kinky fuckery because he was sexually abused in his past. Because of that, people are often condemned for enjoying this series. And they shouldn't be, because they just want to get off. And if we're shaming people for exploring their sexuality in any capacity, those are bad fetish politics. Roll the fucking credits, it's so hot in here. Yes, there is a clear issue with how the film portrays BDSM and the fact that it thinks that people have to have something happen to them in order to be into something, rather than just implying that you can just be into weird shit. But we're all aware of this already. What we usually don't consider is how this happened. A middle-aged and probably sexually unsatisfied woman wrote 50 Shades for other middle-aged women who want to read about hot, wet fantasies that they will probably never have themselves without their cankles getting in the way. And why is there an audience for that? Because it feels a lot safer to explore these fantasies on the pages of a book or the scenes of a shitty movie rather than in an underground sex dungeon. How do you even find underground sex dungeons? Asking for a friend. My point is, when you look at it this way, 50 Shades is a safe and somewhat healthy solution to quenching the thirst. So let them enjoy it. Let them read through shitty character development while picturing themselves suspended from the ceiling, spread eagle. Because all of us have a right to be better acquainted with our kinks, fetishes, and whatever weird shit we want to put on or in our bodies. Just fucking choke me, fatally or sexually, I don't care at this point. I don't know, that's just me. But anyways, you see that he's starting to change because of her, sleeping in the same bed with her, offering to go out on dates. And that's kind of cute. If the rest of the story was not what it is. But then he gives her the contract again.
This is the contract. Read it carefully. Email me if you have any questions.
I told you my computer's down.
Buys her a computer so she can email him. Yeah, it's demeaning to buy things for people without them asking you to, but if she's into it, then don't shame her. Oh, that's the midpoint. Yikes. Actually, the midpoint is pretty much when they had a cute little walk in the woods or something and then had a nice little kiss. And not really addressing any of the problems that they're soon to be having. Oh, hey there. It's been a while. This is for the both of them this time. I'm rearranging because I didn't calculate. Boom. Midpoint. Smooch. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, a lot of these beats are the same. Did you or did you not come here for a romance? Are you not entertained? So finally, she reads the contract over to herself, as anybody would. The contract that I would sign in a fraction of a second without reading it if I were me and she were her.
The following are the terms of a binding contract between the dominant and the submissive.
The fundamental purpose of this contract is to allow the submissive to explore her sensuality and her limits safely.
It's really hot. That shot's for the foot fetish fans, or just fans of Dakota Johnson, like me. Anyways, bad guy's gotta close in. So after reading the contract and doing a little bit of research, she decides, nah, fam. So what is his reasonable response to her not wanting to further their relationship? He breaks into her house. I think you're gonna be here a while.
Is this what you want?
And then they have sex, and she kind of is into it. She wants to get tied up, like, right away. And it feels pretty unearned too soon. I mean, if Dakota Johnson was gonna ask me to tie her up, I would feel like I would have wanted to earn that. You know what I mean? Like, we progressed our way there. Like, there was build-up. Maybe some development. God, I would tie Dakota Johnson up. But anyways, she enjoys the vanilla sex. So for bad guys close in, boom. Break. Because she wants to be on a break, and he broke into her house. You see what I did there?
Your meeting.
Turn to page 5, appendix 3, soft limits. Find anal fisting. Strike it out. Strike out vaginal fisting too.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh man. And then they tease the idea of having sex right there, but they don't. And just talking about bending Dakota Johnson over a table. To all the middle-aged women who saw this in theaters, I am with you. This shit is hot. And then she accepts the contract for no reason. I forgot how it happened in the book. And then he buys her some more stuff. And then there's more kinky fuckery, as expected. He buys her a car, which is cool, but sells her old car without her permission, even though he does not have ownership of it whatsoever, and, how? And then there's dancing, and then they go and meet his family, and then he gets upset because she doesn't let him finger blast her at the dinner table, and then some more fuckery, and then we're right back into his mommy issues. So I feel like all is lost, just sort of blends into the big sad, and this movie's structure is just all over the fucking place. So I'm gonna try, like, a little less hard.
The woman that gave birth to me was a crack addict and a prostitute. She died when I was 4.
What the fuck do I title this? It's all just kind of blending together at this point. Mommy, again. Morning sex break. Mommy smooch mommy. Moving on? Anyways, she takes a plane back home to see her folks and kind of clear her head or whatever, you know, because she's about to get the shit beaten out of her on a regular basis for fun. Dakota, just tell me what you need. I would do anything to you, for you. And her getting away from him obviously causes him to come right back to her. So he flies all the way out there, finds exactly where she's having drinks with her mom, and intrudes. This is gonna be my thing now, isn't it?
Holy fuck.
What? What is it?
It's Christian. He's here. In Georgia.
Oh, here.
Mrs. Adams, delighted to meet you.
So, after he's done stalking her, they end up going back. Can you guess what happens when they get back to his place? That's right, they're playing Mario Kart. No, I'm kidding, they're fucking. And I gotta say, like, this movie does not let you down if this is what you came here for. And I'm calling Break Into 3 stock, because I don't know what else to call it, and it's like the most prominent thing that happened. And then he has vague business problems. Is this downward momentum in the story? I don't fucking know. Does the story even have momentum? I don't know. Anyways, we're back to the sex in no time. This movie can convey anything through kinky fuckery. Upbeat, good raw doggin'. Sorrow? Spanked a little too hard. Spoilers.
What are your safe words?
Red and yellow.
Remember those.
Yeah, and then sex leads to more sex and then different sex. There's just a lot of sex in this movie. The finale basically just consists of a lot of sex. What were you expecting to find here? Do I even have to put it up? You know what it is. It's sex. It's a lot of sex. It's a lot of different sex. It's good sex, bad sex, weird sex. As you can see, there's kind of a running theme. Whatever. But they use the sex in order to explore emotions, I guess. But anyways, they're trying to find out what is going to work for them. She's all like, why won't you let me touch you? He's all like, this is just who I am, sad boy status for life. So, she thinks that she has come to a solution.
I need you to show me what you want to do to me. Punish me. Show me how bad it can be. I want you to show me the worst. It's the only way I can understand.
And then that goes about as well as you'd expect. So she's crying, obviously this is like the end for them, she's gonna leave him. But first, she says she loves him. Which is like, shitty. And then they're donezo. But this movie isn't. Almost there, guys. So then we get into the aftermath, known as Dig Deep Down. This is where they realize that they're sad without each other, because what else would we be doing during this part of the story? And we need sequels. So here we go. She misses him, he misses her, they both realize something's missing. And you know he's really into like planes and helicopters and stuff. So she gets him this model kit of an airplane, and honestly, I'm only a little bit emotional. Again, not biased whatsoever. And then it ends with him running after her. I had to watch it twice to be sure, because it happened very suddenly. He just kind of gets out of a chair. Yeah, no, you gotta watch it twice. Like, it will pass you by. I should title it Sad, because that is what they feel. But all that I can think about is the fucking chair, so... Chair. Stock sex chair. It was good the first time I did it. Anyways, that's the fucking board. Normie bike sex, morning sex break, mommy smooch mommy, stock sex chair. It's like a weird Mad Lib. The story, not my board. Hollywood cinema structure at its finest. And this is what I learned to do in film school. In conclusion, I'm ranking Dakota Johnson at tier 1 of attractiveness. Anyways, I really enjoyed this movie, and I am not biased whatsoever. I'm not kidding when I tell you it's so bad, it's good. I mean, I think you can see that yourself at this point. It's like watching a train wreck and feeling worried, but then you realize that there are no people inside, and then you're just watching it erupt into flames thinking, ooh, that's kinda neat. My best idea. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I gotta say. I really hope you guys don't ask me to do the rest of the trilogy, because it's just downhill from here. But if Dakota wants me to, I'll do it. I'd do anything for her. Man, she is everything. Yeah, and if you disagree with me, come at me on Reddit.